This morning I was rinsing out my coffee mug and it slipped and sank straight to the bottom of the sink. And for some reason, my brain went, unsinkable. And then my brain went, wait, that's a lie people actually told once. And that's how we ended up here. Today, we're talking about the Titanic. And waste y'all's time, no biggie. Okay, so here's the thing nobody tells you up front. The ship was never officially advertised as unsinkable by the company that built it. That phrase mostly came from trade magazines hyping up the design, and then the press ran with it after the fact because the ship everyone casually assumed was really sturdy doesn't sell newspapers. So the most famous myth about the Titanic is basically a marketing accident that got worse with time. Humanity's specialty, honestly. The ship itself was enormous. We're talking over 880 feet long, which is longer than most city blocks, carrying a little over 2,200 people on its first and only voyage. First class had a gym, a pool, a fancy restaurant, the works. Third class had bunks and a shared bathroom situation I will not be describing further. Same boat, wildly different vacations. Classic. It set sail from Southampton in April of 1912, heading to New York. And for 4 days, everything was fine. Which, in hindsight, is the most suspicious sentence in this entire story. There'd actually been ice warnings sent to the ship from other vessels earlier that night. Multiple ones. The crew had them. And they kept the speed up anyway, because apparently, in 1912, we've heard there might be a problem was not considered a great enough reason to slow down a luxury cruise. Bold strategy. Then, at 11:40 at night, a lookout spotted an iceberg dead ahead. And here's the part that gets me every time. The ship didn't hit it head on, which honestly might have saved it. It turned to avoid it, scraped along the side instead, and that graze popped rivets and opened seams across several compartments at once. The ship was built to survive 4 compartments flooding. 5 started flooding. 1 extra compartment. That's the whole disaster engineering-wise. 1 compartment too many, and gravity did the rest. And look, here's the number that always messes with me. There were only enough lifeboats for about half the people on board. Not because someone forgot math, it was actually because the safety regulations at the time were based on the size of the ship, not the number of passengers, and nobody had updated the rule for ships this massive. So legally, they had more than enough boats. Practically, over 1,000 people did not have a seat. That's not a design flaw, that's a paperwork flaw, which is somehow worse. It took about 2 hours and 40 minutes for the ship to fully go under. And during that time, the band famously kept playing, which I used to think was a nice detail. And now I just think about the fact that those musicians knew exactly what was happening and chose calm music anyway. That's not bravery. That's a whole different kind of professionalism I don't have the constitution for. Around 1,500 people died that night, mostly from the cold water rather than the sinking itself, since the ocean was sitting somewhere around 28 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, you're not surviving an hour. You're not surviving 20 minutes. The lifeboats that did launch were also, and I cannot stress this enough, launched half empty in a lot of cases, because crew members weren't sure how much weight the davits could hold and erred on the side of caution instead of the side of, more humans. So there were boats bobbing around the wreck with room for 30 more people who just weren't in them. History's worst game of musical chairs. The RMS Carpathia showed up about an hour and 40 minutes after the Titanic fully sank and picked up the roughly 700 survivors floating around in lifeboats, which is genuinely the closest thing to a heroic moment in this entire timeline. And even that took hours of just very cold, very quiet waiting first. After that, everything changed on paper. New international rules came out requiring enough lifeboats for everyone aboard, 24-hour radio watches, and an actual ice patrol that still exists today, monitoring iceberg activity in the North Atlantic because of this one voyage. So, in a weird way, modern ocean travel is this safe specifically because of how badly this one trip went. Silver lining, if your silver lining requires over 1,000 people. And then, in 1985, they finally found the wreck, sitting in 2 pieces over 12,000 feet down. So, yeah, big boat, bad night, worse math on the lifeboats, and somehow it's still one of the most talked about events in modern history, over a century later, mostly because of one movie and a lot of documentaries. Anyway, that's the Titanic. Check your ice warnings, folks.